One day, I was at school. We were in science class and we were making explosions and shit. I was a bit of a rebel in school, so I decided to mix every ingredient I could find into one bowl. I then proceeded to heat it over a Bunsen burner. I now realize that was a bad mistake. It exploded all over the students. It made the school shake, caused an earthquake. Even my teacher, Mr. Bumcrack Shakalak, was covered head to toe in this creamy mess I had created. My head teacher, Mrs. Basila Moldymole, expelled me from school for 1 week. But I said, "Nah, fuck you, bitch." And I walked like a badass out of my school, with a baddie playlist on. I came back to school the next day and everyone was so impressed by me. Every time I have science I am not allowed to participate. The explosion I made that day was as loud as a hippo giving birth. I am now the most popular person in the school and everyone wants to be my friend. Mr. Bumcrack Shakalak wants to be my boyfriend. And Mrs. Basila Moldymole said she would be lesbian for me. So suck on that, bitches.
Day we were on a field trip to school and I was sitting next to the horse girl named Beth. It was the most depressing ride ever because she kept neighing and making gallop noises with her shoes. She started aggressively eating something, so I looked at her to see her devouring the bus rat that runs across the floor. I started screaming and she was giggling and gobbling that rat like it was a McDonald's double quarter-pounder meal deal large with extra pickles and Sprite. There was blood everywhere and everyone was screaming and she started licking her fingers. I told the bus driver and he pulled over and called the police. It turns out she was mentally ill and she stays at a facility now. Time I was sitting in church and I had to fart. I knew it would be dangerous considering I have a supernatural asshole. I felt it coming and the next thing you know the building starts vibrating and the sprinklers got set off. The roof was starting to cave in and I knew it was coming. All the windows were shattering and the ground was wobbling. I did the most chunky, monkey, funky, stunky, bed bunky, tree trunky, gunky, skunky, sloppy, ploppy, moppy, gloppy, mushy, tushy, ooshy gooshy, sushi fart so powerful I needed to get stitches. The walls started to crack and everyone was screaming while hiding under their chairs praying because they thought God was coming down. The danger alarm went off and everyone was calling their family saying they loved them. The roof finally caved in causing more destruction and my whole splitting fart finally stopped. Everyone got out from under the chairs and looked around. There was rubble everywhere and even the brick walls was cracked. They were wondering where God is and I had to act concerned with them. Anyways, my fart made it on the news and was titled as California's most deadliest earthquake. Little did they know it was my ripper ass.
In my opinion, miraculous is a tiny bit overrated. I mean, sis, don't get me wrong, I ain't no hater, but it's the same in every episode. You know, someone gets angry, then they get acclimatized by Hawk Moth. Then Ladybug and Cat Noir come to the rescue and fight a little bit. And then Ladybug uses her, lucky charm, and then they win. Then Hawk Moth, at the end of every single episode, is like, "I will get you next time, Cat Noir and Ladybug. Just you wait and see. Miss Girl! Well, it better be soon, Hawk Moth. It's been like 100 episodes."
Is it just me? When you're watching YouTube or anything that has adverts, and an advert pops up, and it's just like, "Writing's not that easy, but Grammarly can help. This sentence is grammatically correct, but it's wordy and hard to read." It's like, no! I don't want Grammarly! I can write! I can read! I don't need this! And then it has the audacity to be like, "Are you sure you want to skip this advert?" Yes, I'm sure I want to skip it!
And when I was 10 I went on Omegle because I was a loser and had no friends. I used the video chat option and everyone kept skipping me, until someone didn't. His screen was black. I said hi but he only responded through the Omegle text. I said, "Why aren't you talking and showing yourself?" and he said he's very shy. He told me his name was Jeremy and he is also 10 years old. We were just chatting about school and stuff, when he suddenly asked me for my address. I didn't think twice about it and I literally sent him my entire address. And then it said stranger has disconnected. A few days passed and I didn't think anything of it, until a letter slipped under our front door. It said from Jeremy in big letters. My mom was in the shower so I opened it up and it said, "Hi, it's Jeremy. I'm coming over tonight so we can hang out." I literally got so excited so I ran upstairs and started wearing my clothes that didn't have stains. My mom finished showering and asked me why I'm wearing my church clothes, and I told her a friend is coming over. The doorbell rang and my mom dramatically gasped and said, "But you have no friends." And I said, "That was until today, bitch." And I strutted towards the fun time my brother got really sick with coronavirus. He was one of the severe cases and he had to stay in the hospital for a long time. My mom was taking pictures of him on the hospital bed and putting them on Facebook. I told her to make the caption WAP. She said, "What is that?" and I said it means wish and pray. She said that's perfect and she recorded a video of him violently coughing and posted it with this exact caption. WAP for my son's recovery. WAP that he can come home soon. And if you believe in God, WAP for yourself too. My aunt commented what WAP means and my mum replied saying wish and pray. Ever since my mum clarified its meaning, all my relatives were spamming the Facebook comment section with WAP. She changed her bio to WAP as well.
One sunny morning I woke up in the middle of the night. I sat up and looked around violently, and that's when I felt my finger throbbing. I looked at it and it was filled with a creamy cream, so creamy you could churn it for butter. I ran to my mummy's room in slow motion and told her violently, "Oh mummy, there's something bad happening to my tummy," and she collapsed in slow motion. She got up rapidly and inspected my thumb, and she had fear in her eyes. She put on her glasses and grabbed an old dusty book and said, "I've seen this only once before. It happens so rarely." I said what could be possessing my thumb with an ungodly cream, and she slammed the book shut. She said, "We need to go to the hospital right this instant." We sped to the hospital as fast as we could in slow motion. We arrived violently and that's when I got brought out on a stretcher. I was taken to the immediate surgery room and they began operating while I was still on the stretcher. She grabbed my hand violently. "Oh mummy, my body is starting to feel numby," and she collapsed in slow motion. I'm not ready to die. The surgery lasted for 17 hours and it finally finished. We were in the waiting room sitting violently when the results came in. My mummy opened the envelope to reveal that it was just constipation cream. My mummy spent the rest of the day wiping my bum.
This is a message from my mum, so if you're not her, please keep scrolling. I'm kidding. I know you're probably not gonna scroll, but oh well. Hi, Mum. How's it going? How's it hanging? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. You know the other day when you told me that I was addicted to my phone and that, oh, you need to get out more and stop going on TikTok so much. You're gonna get addicted. Well, don't think I don't see you with your Facebook and your Instagram, seeing what Sheila and Jim have been doing over the weekend. Don't think I don't see that. You know, when you come over to me and sing like, "Oh, look at Sheila's little child." I don't care about Sheila's little child. But it's the same thing as me checking up on my favourite TikTokers. You haven't even seen Sheila in like 20 years. Okay, bye.
Buckle up because this one's a ride. One day when I was 11, my mom let me use her laptop so I can study for my classes and shit. I got so bored while studying, so I decided to go on some frisky websites. Until this ad popped up. It said, "Congratulations, you've won a free MacBook Pro. Click here to claim it." I thought, OMG, holy shit, I got a free laptop now. I won't have to use my mom's and she won't have to save money to buy me one. So I clicked claim. It redirected me to a blank page and then everything went frozen. I couldn't click out of it or shut off the laptop and I started freaking out. Not because I thought something bad was happening. No, I was freaking out because I thought someone else was gonna claim the laptop before me. The camera started flashing indicating that it was turned on, and I started hysterically crying because I thought it meant that someone else claimed it. My mom heard me hyperventilating, so she ran into the room in a panic, and she found me slobbering on her laptop while the screen was blank. She ran over and hugged me and asked what's wrong, and that's when we heard a dark, low, demonic voice from the laptop say, "We found you," before it shut off and wouldn't turn back on.
Things parents don't understand. Number one, okay, if I'm playing the game online, I cannot pause the game because there's other people playing live with me. So how am I gonna pause the game if they're playing too? Number two, you ever think, you know what, I'm gonna be a responsible child and I'm gonna do the dishes. And on your way to do the dishes, your mom says, "Hey, yo, make sure you do them dishes." See, now I don't want to do them anymore because when I do it by myself, I'm thinking, you know what, this could be calming for me. But when you ask me to do it, now I'm required to do it. Lastly, I cannot stand when I'm in the bathroom and I've only been in there for like 3 minutes and somebody's, "What you in there doing?" Like, what do you think I'm doing in the bathroom? You making a sandwich? Thank you for...
I was at McDonald's. I decided to order a chocolate milkshake. Bad idea, by the way. I was drinking my milkshake when all of a sudden, I needed to fart. But it was more than a fart. I shat all over the seat and my family. Everyone started staring and laughing at me because I let out the most sloppy, ploppy, gaudy, foggy, smelly, pig's belly, slimy jelly shit ever. I could have been mistaken for a rocket, because my shit was making me fly up in the air. I saw someone recording me and I was like, "Oh hell no, you stinky rat, very fat, fishy fanny." I grabbed their Dora flip phone out of their hand and said, "Never do that to me again, you stupid bitch." I didn't even care that.
Just me. Or like, okay, let's just say you're in the playground, on the floor, you broke your bloody arm, and your teacher is like, "Oh, you'll be fine. Follow me, we'll go put a wet paper towel on it." Excuse me? A wet paper towel is going to help my broken arm, huh? Yes, really? It's just going to irritate it more. And a bone is sticking out my body. Oh, it's not going to automatically go back in, is it? No. And, like, what is wrong with you?
Siri, I failed my final exams. Can you tell me a joke to cheer me up?
What's the difference between you and your grandma? Your grandma passed.
Popular girls who think they can sing, but in reality they sound like a supermassive black hole. I was paired up with one of them to finish a project, and Miss Girl did nothing. Didn't even type a single syllable. So I had to go out of my way and finish her part of the project. And so today she posts on her Snap story a video of herself singing, Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Bitch, you can go jingle your head into a brick wall. The fuck.
Pretty sure my parents have very selective hearing. I would be there minding my own business, doing my own thing, right? And then I would hear my mom screaming my names from the bottom of the stairs. So I would go like, what? Really loudly. And so many times, but she literally wouldn't be able to hear me. Then I would have to go down and my mom would just be there asking, oh, what are you doing? But when it's like 2 a.m. in the morning and I'm calling my friends, whispering, barely making a sound, basically just breathing, she would already be storming to my bedroom, half asleep, yelling at me to shut up. How does this work?
That the caramel sundaes at McDonald's had an ingredient that I did not want to consume. So it was my first day working at McDonald's. And if you do not know, we actually get a complimentary meal for lunch. Now, this complimentary meal did have some exclusions. For example, I couldn't get like a frappe. However, I could get a caramel sundae. So the girl that was training me, we'll name her Ty, was taking my order because we still had to put our employee meals in the system and just write it off as an employee meal. So she was taking my order, chicken nuggets and fries. It was like a number 10 or something. And she asked me, is that all? And I was like, let me get a little fancy with it. I'd like a caramel sundae. So when she looks up from that screen and she looks up at me and she goes, you can't get that. And I was like, what do you mean? It's my birthday, I can get whatever I want. And I looked very annoyed at her. I was like, what? And she's like, I'll give you a plain sundae. And she went ahead and she marked it off as a plain sundae.
Yeah, bud.
It happened again.
What happened again?
I got in trouble at school.
What'd you do?
Well, the teacher was asking questions about animals. Ray was called on, and she said, Ray, what's a four-legged animal that says moo? And he said, that's a cow. Then I was called on, and she said, Dami, what's the type of bird that has feathers but can't fly? And I said, well, teach, that would be a dead bird.
You sad? You know what? Don't be sad, because sad backwards is das. And that's not good.
Class on Zoom. I wanted to go to sleep, honestly, because like when I'm tired, I go to sleep. I end up falling asleep and then class ends and everyone starts leaving the class. Except me, because I was like in a whole other universe at this point. I was dreaming, I was flying. At this point, me and the teacher are alone in the call. This is the best part. Then the teacher starts talking to me and he's like, Samantha, wake up. Samantha, please. Samantha, you have another class. He woke me up, but I was half awake, so I didn't really know what was going on. So I thought it was my brother waking me up, and I straight up yelled. I was like, shut up, you fat booger. And so then I realized, oh shit, I just called my teacher a fat booger. And now he scheduled a parent conference.
Can't be the only one where if you go over to a friend's house and you are starving, absolutely starving, but you're too scared to ask for some food because, you know, you feel like rude if you just say, oh, can I just help myself to your fridge and your snacks? But then the mum comes up and asks if you want any food. You're too shy to say yes or no, so you are praying that your friend makes the answer for you and makes the answer yes. But then she says, no, we're not hungry. Excuse me, Vanessa. When did I say I wasn't hungry? Excuse me, Vanessa.
You know, I really wonder about myself sometimes. And it's slightly worrying. Like, today, I've been feeling really dizzy and kind of just lightheaded all day. And I'm like, what the heck is wrong with me? I'm literally gonna die. What is wrong with me? So I tell my mum when I get home from school, and she's like, you're probably dehydrated. That's like one of the symptoms of just dehydration. And I'm like, I spent my whole day freaking out about it. God's sake, Kaylee, you're not stupid. You know that.
To have this art teacher and everyone hated her. She was the biggest bitch, like she was literally so mean and strict, and for what? What was the reason? Anyways, one day she was really testing my limits and she had the motherfucking audacity to rip up and throw away a project I worked on for a week because she said it quote unquote wasn't good enough and that I never even try in her class. Even though I worked so hard on it and I did the best I could. I was mad at her for saying I didn't ever try and that my work wasn't good enough for her, so I was thinking to myself, shut your bubble gum dum dum skin tone chicken bone Google Chrome no homo flip phone disowned ice cream cone garden gnome extra. Chromosome metronome dimidome genome full blown monochrome student loan. Indiana Jones overgrown Flintstone X and Y chromosome friendzone Sylvester Stallone Sierra Leone AutoZone friendzone professionally seen silver patron big-headed ass up. And out of anger I grabbed my backpack and said no, I am gonna leave. My way or the highway. And I stormed out of that ugly bitch's class and flipped her off on the way out. I deadass ran out of the school and walked all the way home since I lived close to the school. My mom asked me why I was home early and I told her what happened and she was surprisingly proud of me. So proud that she took me out for ice cream. I was suspended for 3 days for doing that, but oh well, fuck that bitch.